Hi, welcome to We Wine Whenever. I'm Wendy.
Kelly.
And I'm Lori.
We're talking about Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, Season 5, Episode number 8. But before we talk about that, I want to mention a little bit about the Women's Expo. I went to a Women's Expo yesterday at the Raritan Center in New Jersey. There was a couple guest speakers there. There was JWoww from the Jersey Shore. And JWoww was talking about the night before she was in New York City for a premiere of a movie that she wrote, directed, I think produced as well.
Wow.
And it's called Devon, Devon, and it's a psychological thriller. And she was telling us the story of like how it all came about. So in 2020, she had this idea to do this thriller back when she was doing the Snooki and JWoww little series that they did for a short amount of time. And Snooki went to the penitentiary, the one in Pennsylvania. I forget what it's called.
State.
Yes, they went there. And this is where actually it was set. This is where her movie was set. When she was there with Snooki at the time, she loves scary movies. JWoww does. So when she was there at the time, she's like, this would be like a good idea, a good place to do this. So back in 2020, she had this idea and she just started like writing it, and she had no idea how to, she'd never done this before. She had no idea how to do it. And then all of a sudden the pandemic happened. And, then she kind of like finalized things. And then she's like, well, what are we going to do? She got everything in place, but then the pandemic happened. So she continued to do it. And long story short, she did it. And she's proud of herself. And I don't blame her, because that is a huge accomplishment.
To write it alone.
And to direct it. I mean, it's awesome. That's awesome.
Good for her.
So it's going to be it's going to be streaming. I think she said it's going to be on Apple TV and Amazon. I'm not 100% sure exactly where it's going to be, but it's coming out November 12th, so we can watch it. I'm going to watch it, even though I don't like psychological thrillers.
It's a scary movie.
I'm still going to watch it.
I know.
I'm going to watch it.
Give it a go. I'll give it a go.
Yeah. But she was also talking about like high school and how it was hard for her growing up in high school. And, there was an interviewer there asking her some questions. And I was there with Matt and his friend from school. We're both seniors in high school. And one of the things she was saying is in high school, like, she was a dork. She didn't have any friends. She didn't go to the prom. The kids kind of made fun of her. She was like a tomboy because, she was raised by her father. Her mother wasn't around. And, she just wanted people to know that you can do whatever you want to do. And, it's okay to be the weird kid. And the people from high school, she said, because the interviewer asked her if she runs into them. She's like, no, I'm not even in the same state. And, they peaked in high school.
That's right.
She said in her yearbook, this one girl, she's like, no one even signed my yearbook. And this one girl like gave me this pity sign. She signed my yearbook and she wrote something like, you better save this autograph because I'm going to be famous one day. She's like, I think about it all the time. She's like, look who's up here now.
That's amazing.
That's
great.
I thought that was great.
I love it.
I thought that was great. Yeah. So, it was good to see her. She was inspirational. And then Dolores Catania came out and she was talking about, they were asking her questions about like the Real Housewives. And she was saying, they don't know what's going on. They don't know when they're going to start filming again. They don't know anything. She was also talking about, they asked her like how she was able to forgive Frank, her ex-husband, and move forward with him after everything that he had done. And she said, listen, I live my life that it doesn't hurt him if I hold anger and hate in my heart. Like, it's bad for me. So you just got to move forward. And that's what she does with her life. She just keeps moving forward. She spends her time trying to do philanthropic work and, her charity raising money she does like women's charity. She does the one for Maimonides, the breast cancer one. And she lives a great life. And her mom had a lot of children and her mom never went anywhere and never did anything. And once Dolores started making money, she wanted to take her mom places and her mom didn't want to do anything. She's like, everything I need is right here. Everything I need is right here.
Her mom's a sweet lady.
She really is. And she also went on to tell us, which we didn't know this, is that, we did know her mom was sick recently. Her mom had surgery, open heart surgery. Because the question came up about like when there's conflicts and like, how do you handle it? And she said that her and her brothers and sisters weren't allowed to fight when they were younger because her mother wouldn't allow it. So she was always very close with her brothers and sisters. But when her mom was sick, there was a little bit of tension and there was a little bit of animosity that one sibling was doing more than the other sibling for the parent.
Mm.
And, Dolores was working at the time, and I guess she was doing the best that she could do. At one point she offered to just, we'll pay to have a nurse move in to help. And they didn't like that answer. And there was tension. So she's like, even my family, where you think that, there's not going to be, she goes, it happens. It does happen. And you just have to, push through it. Which, again, I thought was a great message. And then the next person, I didn't realize how close her and Caroline were. She talked about the casting, how they went to the hair salon, and that's how they were cast there. And then her and Caroline are very good friends. They've been very good friends for a very long time.
Well, remember when Caroline was doing the 101.5 radio show? Dolores was on the episode.
Yeah. So then Caroline came out, and she was talking about her cookbook. I was going to call you, but honestly, I was too tired at that point. I could have gotten you her cookbook signed because they had her cookbook there. They were selling it, and, she was signing them.
You would have signed it.
Yeah.
Well,
I wasn't going to buy a cookbook because we all know I don't cook. I was like, what am I going to do with a cookbook?
You know what? I actually am going to order her. Jeez. I am going just whack myself in the face with the microphone. I am going to order her cookbook. But thank you.
Okay.
Because I would much rather read her cookbook.
Yeah, so she was talking about some of the recipes in there. She's got a crock pot recipe for oatmeal, and she talks about how that came about how there's always so many people at her house, and then all the things that she uses the oatmeal for if it's left over, and the things that she's, she was one of, I think, 10 or 11 kids. So when she got married to Alfred, it was just the two of them. She had to pare down her recipe. She didn't know how to cook for two people. She's like, if
funny.
I'm used to cooking for the masses. Like, if you said I had to cook for everyone in this room, I'd be like, okay, let's get it done. But to cook for a few people, she just doesn't know how to do that.
And she's the oldest, right, of all of the siblings?
She did not say that. She did not say. She may be. And the way the cookbook came about is she really just made it for her sons. And that also came about during the pandemic. She's always taking pictures of her food. So she started writing down these recipes for her son, but she, like most Italian moms and grandmas and cooks, they don't measure anything. So it was very hard for her to come up with measurements. So when she decided to do the book, they had to hire this person who would watch her, put it together, and have to come up with what the measurements were for the recipe. And the first book that she made for her kids, their friends were like, oh my God, can your mom make, we'll buy it. Can your mom make me one? Can your mom make me one? So that's why she decided to do it. Which I thought was, was a good story. I met a lot of interesting people, a lot of women-owned businesses. I met the president of Cream Ridge Winery, and I asked him if we could come out there and do a wine sampling and a wine tasting. And I talked to him about sponsorship for the podcast, and he said, absolutely, give him a call.
That's amazing.
So we're going to get that scheduled and on the books.
Awesome.
I talked to a couple other people, too, that I'm going to invite to come on the podcast and talk about their business a little bit and, get some information out about their products. And then the one woman who I really needed to get her name from, I did not get her name. But as we were leaving, it was a long day. I mean, we left the house at 10 and we didn't get back until 6:30. It was a long day. She had this product. As I was getting ready to leave, Matt's like, you have to go try this. She does this thing for pain, she'll massage you. And it's called Golden Dew Drops. I think that this might be her picture. Like I said, I did not get her name, but I do have her information.
Yeah.
So she said to me, where do you have pain? And I was like, well, I have pain, in between my shoulders. I mean, you guys know I have pain everywhere. So she takes this oil and she's telling me about this oil, how she prayed on it. And, this oil came from God and it's all natural and there's no THC in it and no CBD, and it's got rosemary and it's got all these healing properties. And, they started doing this and they weren't really sure if it was anything. And then all of a sudden they started researching it and it has all these therapeutic properties. So now it's patent pending and she's working with Rutgers to get the patent.
Amazing.
And she's telling me about it. And she puts this oil on the back of my neck. I'm not lying to you. This is called XXX pain oil, XXX pain oil. It works. It totally works. So I got home. I was like, oh my God, this really works. I didn't feel normally I feel such tension in just the back of my shoulders. So I said, I have these bulging discs. So this morning after I took a shower, I said, Bill, like put this all over my back. You don't even rub it in hard. You just like rub it in and for hours, no pain, no pain.
Really?
I'm telling you, it really works. And I started going online and looking at like her testimonials. She's been at like the Columbus flea market. Most of her testimonies are out there, to be honest with you, because the wind's blowing and people are talking about it. My camera's going crazy because I keep moving, but it works. So I'm definitely going to get her on.
Perfect.
So she can talk about it and you guys can learn about this. Lori, I have a sample for you. She gave me a sample. So you can try it.
Because the tension and my shoulders and the back of my neck right now, I'm like, I'm thinking about it. I'm like, I wish I had that oil. We did leaves.
Yeah.
Lori's going to be knocking on your door as soon as we sign off.
My whole yard was
You're
full
like,
of
bye.
leaves.
It is amazing. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. And she didn't exactly say. When I watched the videos, I mean, she said, one of the main ingredients is olive oil, which I was like, okay, olive oil, but there's rosemary. It smells to me like a tea tree oil.
Eucalyptus?
It's got, yeah. Some people say they felt heat. See, I'm not even moving and my camera's moving. I don't know what it is, but I'm telling you. I know. Close your eyes. So anyway, we're going to have her on. I have her information. I just don't know her name, unfortunately.
That sounds great.
Yeah. So I'm glad I went. No, it was a good day.
Yeah, for sure.
So now we'll talk about Salt Lake City, the desert and the deserted. Since I've been talking, do you want to start?
Did you guys forget that Meredith was even on this show until you saw the first scene with her?
Yeah, right?
As soon as she came on the screen, I was like, oh, that's right. Meredith was on this show.
Oh, Meredith's a cast member. So what do you guys think? Rate the episode between 1 and 10. What do you think this episode was? 1 being the worst and 10 being great.
I'd say a 5.
Yeah, me
I'm
too.
Right there
4
with
or
you.
5.
I don't love
know.
Salt Lake City. Where are you?
In general. I don't know. I'm at like a 4. It's a lot.
Okay.
It's a lot. Like, just trying to figure out who's arguing with
not
who.
A big Salt Lake fan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
It's minutia.
What about you, Wendy?
I mean, I don't like what's happening with Heather. I don't like how Heather's behaving this season. I don't like what's going on with Whitney. I've never been a Lisa Barlow fan, never liked Meredith. So, it's like, what do I do? I actually, believe it or not,
Which way do you look?
I believe it or not, I actually do like Bronwyn. I think that Bronwyn is very, very smart. And I think that she's calling them out and they're just not used to it.
Right.
I'm also liking Brittany. Like,
well,
we didn't see her that much in this episode, but, as opposed to Meredith and Lisa,
well, Brittany and
Mary, I like Mary.
Yeah, at least Brittany is who she is. Like, she may seem foolish sometimes or immature, or you think to yourself, like, gosh, like, why would you do or say that on camera? But that's kind of the charm of her, at least on a show like this, is that she's definitely just who she is. She doesn't curb any of her foolishness, and she just... Whereas I do like Bronwyn, but there's something about her that's just, I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out. She's just a little too theatrical for me sometimes. I'm really not sure about her relationship with her husband.
That might just be her personality.
Like,
look at the decor in her house. It reminds me of the house in Beetlejuice when Catherine O'Hara comes in and starts decorating the house in Beetlejuice. The original, because I didn't see the second one.
I don't know. I just feel like all this goings on, I feel like it's something that she uses to cover up. Like, I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out. Out with her.
It does seem like she, her husband travels every week. It does seem like he puts his foot down.
Most definitely.
When he needs to. And maybe she's just, having a little fun with the money.
Well, she's definitely having fun with the money.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it kind of starts out with Meredith and Lisa. They're talking about the bar mitzvah, Meredith's bar mitzvah, and she's trying to get all of her family there. And she tells Heather that she's getting her bar mitzvah. She finds out that Heather's not going on the trip because she was never invited because she couldn't make up with Bronwyn. Then Bronwyn calls Lisa to make sure that her and John are going to be okay. Which
I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
No, with
it was
Whitney and
mighty
Justin
nice.
being there.
Yeah, I thought it
Exactly.
was mighty
Lisa's like,
nice.
why is she doing that? Like, we're not going to start any problems. I think it was nice of her to do that.
I do too. I
Yeah,
100% do too.
absolutely.
And Lisa was like insulted. Like, my husband's a CEO. Of course he knows how to behave.
Yeah, okay.
But you don't know how to behave.
You
So
don't
what?
know how to
Exactly. And
behave,
that's
right?
not the point.
Yeah,
Right.
he's not the problem. You are, Lisa.
Right.
Right. So then Meredith said that Sean went on the podcast and was talking about Brooks and that she's using him as a pawn and was deflecting about her own wrongdoings.
Wait, who'd she say said that?
Sean.
Sean. Angie's husband.
Angie's
Okay,
husband.
Thank you.
Right.
Yeah,
but,
Angie's husband.
but this is the thing.
So she tried.
This is the
Go ahead.
thing, is that they had this thing with Meredith bringing up these rumors about Sean, okay? And then Meredith is the one who decided to make her own social media post and bring her son into it and say, that's not something I would do because my son is ... So you're the one who brought your son into the picture. So I don't understand why she's acting
Good
like,
point.
like Sean, okay, yes, he did say something like that on the podcast, but you're the one who decided to march your son out to deflect from yourself. That's and whether you did it and you didn't really think it through, I don't see how that's his fault.
No, it's absolutely not his fault. And what she was saying is that she had tried to bring this up to Sean at the party, at Angie's party, his and Angie's party. And, he said that he didn't think that he did anything wrong. And Meredith is then telling the other ladies that, not once did he say that, I shouldn't have talked about your son and say I'm sorry. Well, because he doesn't feel like he needs to apologize. So why would he say I'm sorry?
And
Just
your
like
son's a grown adult on his own reality TV show. So he could just get over it.
Just like Lisa's looking for an apology from Justin when she's the one who went towards him and she's the one who was in his space and cursing at his wife.
Crazy.
I mean, like, these people are delusional.
They really are.
So then Bronwyn's in her closet and she's getting ready with her dogs and they're all wearing the same matching egg pajamas. Like, this is what I'm saying. Like, I like it. Like, this is what I like. I like the silliness. I really do. I like that her and her dogs have matching egg pajamas.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Bronwyn.
Yes. Yeah. I think it's hysterical. I think that Lori would have matching egg pajamas with her animals as well.
Yes, I would.
For sure.
If I had Bronwyn's money, I would definitely have matching pajamas. Yes. That would be a kooky rich girl thing that I would do.
I know. That's why I liked it. I think I think it's quirky. I like it. So she's FaceTiming with Todd, who's in Korea at the time. And he asks, how are the things going with all your friends? And she says, I'm really hoping it's going to go well. I talked to everybody. I'm hoping that this, there's not going to be any drama. And he makes it pretty clear. Now it's the second time we've heard from him that he doesn't want any drama. This is their anniversary that they're sharing with these people. It's their weekend and he doesn't want drama. Like, let's act like adults.
Right.
I don't think that's an unreasonable ask, in my opinion.
Either.
No, but he is on a reality TV show, so I really don't know what he's expecting. I don't know. Like, this is how they make their money by having altercations and drama. So I don't know how he really thought. And really, honestly, I mean, I would imagine that probably the reality is that they paid for the jet. But I'm pretty sure Bravo paid for that place that they stayed at. So I don't know. It just kind of...
I don't think so.
You don't think so? Bravo pays for those.
The cast trips are tricky. Like, sometimes they pay for them, but if you want any upgrades, like a private jet, you have to pay for that. So Lori could be right. Bravo could have been paying for the house.
I mean, at $20,000 a night.
Yeah,
Bravo,
that was the other thing.
Bravo wasn't paying for that house.
I don't know.
Well, who was talking about it? Somebody was talking about it recently on one of the podcasts we were listening to. I don't know if you listened to it yet. Crystal and Cynthia Bailey.
I have not.
Okay, so listen to that podcast. Cynthia Bailey and Crystal Minkoff have a podcast together. And I forget what it's called, but they were just talking about how the cast trips work and what you're expected to do and who pays for what. And it was different information from different casts. So
yeah, I think it's different on different franchises.
Because Beverly Hills is the same as the OC for a production company, and Atlanta was different than that. So different things happen in different places. So just keep that in mind, right?
Yeah, because I was thinking, well, it kind of depends. Like if if Bravo's footing the bill, then guess what? It's a work trip. It's not really your anniversary trip.
Right. Saddle up.
Saddle up. Yeah.
Right.
You might not want the drama, but you're going to get the drama because Bravo's paying.
And I mean, I like it that he's like, this is stupid. I like that.
Yeah.
Right. But you're right. Your wife chose to be a real housewife of Salt Lake City. So you either hop on board or don't be on the show. Don't film with her. Because this is what it is.
Yeah, that's why I was kind of like.
So then we see, Angie and Sean are talking about the trip and they're packing. And Sean asks Angie how she feels about the dynamic with her and Lisa. And she's like, I don't really feel like it's that good. And I let her get away with being mean to me for too long. And I'm glad that she's finally standing up for herself because I agree. She has let her get away with being mean to her for too long.
Well, if your husband
we see Whitney
agrees,
and Justin.
If your husband agrees, he's the one who said to her, no, she's been mean to you a lot.
Yeah.
That's what he said.
Yeah.
Meredith getting mad that Sean may or may not have said something about her grown-ass adult son, but last year she was going around saying that Sean cheats on Angie with men and didn't have a care in the world about his young daughter.
Right. Exactly.
Like, you want to bring kids into it? Look at what you did last year. These women are so entitled, and then the expectations of others are higher than what they feel the expectations should be from themselves. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I think that's one of the biggest reasons. I mean, there's several which I have written down, but I think that's one of the biggest reasons why Bronwyn did the flip out, because that's exactly
Lisa?
That's exactly what she was saying, is that
Absolutely.
what is this expectation? Yeah.
Right. I got to ride your. Well, all right, we'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there. So then Whitney and Justin are packing, and Whitney asks Justin, how do you think it's going to be with John? And Justin thinks it's going to be fine. And then he lets Whitney know that John said that, Lisa's expecting an apology from Justin. And Whitney's like, nope, not happening. And then John and Lisa are packing, and she's sitting on the floor, and she's got her 100 pair of sunglasses on the floor.
And she's like, I'm only going to bring like 3 or 4.
Right.
He's like, how many are you going to bring? She's like, I don't know, like 3 or 4. He's like, that's it?
Yeah. I mean,
how many days are you going for?
I think 3, maybe 4. And she's saying things with Whitney and Angie aren't so great. And Justin still owes me an apology too. So she's still waiting for her apology.
Probably still waiting today.
Yeah. John tells her that Justin says that, he's still going to have to think about that just to set that expectation. At the airport, they get on the private plane, and Bronwyn tries to put each of them on the plane next to a person that they're not having a conflict with, which I thought was smart.
None of them are dressed appropriately to fly, by the way.
No.
Not a one.
They land at the Thermal Private Airport in Palm Springs, California. And the ladies and their husbands go in 2 separate cars. So in car 1, it's Bronwyn, Whitney, and Angie and their husbands. And in car 2, it's Lisa and Meredith and their husbands. So Seth is asking John about the altercation between him and Whitney and Lisa, and they're kind of explaining that. And Seth asks if it's back to balance. Like, are you guys okay? He says, yeah, I think John and I are good. And she was talking to Lisa about what happened with Heather and how things didn't go well, which, we know that things didn't go well. That's why Heather's not there.
Right.
Right?
Right.
And then Bronwyn is saying that she's very upset about her conversation with Lisa and Meredith on the plane because she was trying to tell them about what had happened with Heather, and she felt like they were taking Heather's side, which is
totally defending her.
Right. Bronwyn's been friends with Lisa. Like, and you're going on her private plane. Like, you're like,
right.
Come on.
Right.
They don't think that she's giving Heather a chance. And I do think she gave Heather a chance. That's why she invited her over to her house.
I think she just sees Heather for who Heather is.
Yeah. And then they show up at the vacation rental, which we just said was $20,000 a night. The house is beautiful.
Seth was on the hunt for a room with a bathtub.
That was hysterical. And John was helping him because he knew how important that was. I thought that was so funny. The 2 of them were running around looking, and there was none. There was no bathtub to be had.
Nope.
Lisa said the best thing about the house is that there was 2 wings, and she wouldn't have to be near Whitney.
So stupid.
Bronwyn says that there's a bad vibe with her and Lisa, and now she doesn't even know where she's where they are in the property, because Lisa and Meredith kind of like went and took their own rooms and didn't even weren't talking to the other women, to see what was going on, which I did think that was a little odd. I mean, I know that Seth was looking for the bathtub, but I don't know.
No, they totally went off on their own like two cliquey high schoolers.
Yes, yeah. That's what it is. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, they're like mean girls.
Yes. Yeah.
That's definitely what it was giving.
Meanwhile, they're grown-ass women.
Yeah, definitely giving mean girls vibes.
Mm-hmm. And then Lisa and Meredith are outside and they're talking about the food in Italy. And Lisa says the food in Italy is too fresh.
She's a jackass.
What a stupid thing to say.
That's the dumbest thing I ever heard her say.
100%. And she has said some dumb shit. That is by far the dumbest. People go to Italy for the food. I
know she likes junk food. She eats fast food all the time and diet soda.
Yeah, but that's her gig.
I mean, come on. Whoa. Even Meredith called her out on that. She's like, what?
Yeah, that was dumb.
How about when the private jeweler shows up?
I don't know about that whole
private
thing.
Jeweler.
That seemed like a weird
$4 million
flex.
necklace, $1.4 million earrings, and she just left them there.
Well,
for her to decide.
That they do if you really have the bankroll and you've purchased from them before, they will leave it to you on loan. But I don't know. I just thought it was just like a weird flex. I was just like, I don't know.
It was a total flex.
Yeah.
Total
100 carats, $4 million. Would you ever listen? Even if would you wear it? How could you wear that?
I would be petrified to wear that.
No, I'd wear that shit.
I mean, did you see what happened to Kim Kardashian when those armed people broke into her place wasn't it Paris?
Yeah. When she was in the hotel, yeah.
Right? I mean, seriously, you don't wear that. You get costume.
That's right.
I'm not joking. Seriously, why would you wear a $4 million? It makes no sense.
Right. Where are you going? Are you going to the Oscars?
Even if you are going to if you're going to you need an armed guard with you.
Yeah.
You cannot walk around with $4 million on your neck.
Yeah. No.
I'm sorry. I just think that's strange.
I thought the whole thing
it was also hysterical. I thought it was strange. So then Angie and Sean are outside playing volleyball. And then the ball goes in the water, and then she's trying to get the ball out of the water, and then she's whacking the water. But meanwhile, the jeweler is right there, and they're out there on the patio listening to them whack around the ball.
The effort she put in to get the ball, and then she lets the fucking ball go in the water again. I'm like, oh my God. It was like watching one of your kids screw up over and over again. You're like, come on.
Uh-huh. Yeah. I was laughing. I was like, oh my God, they're so funny.
Yeah. Do Seth and Meredith, do you think they're even together? Don't they seem like actors when they're in a scene together? Doesn't it feel like they're acting?
I think
it's because Meredith is so cold.
Yeah. I think that they maybe have just not an open marriage, but I just think that they have an arrangement. He does what he wants to do. She does what she wants to do. He comes home once in a while. They pretend like they're a family. And I think that actually, if anything, she was pissed because he was fucking around with her airtime. She's like, I'm on the show. It's a couples weekend. You're supposed to be filming with me. What are you doing?
And now you're saying you got to go.
But now, see, so this is, I made some notes on this. So this is the thing. So either way, I think it's messed up because, let's see, she was saying, oh, this doesn't add up. And she's making it sound like he's cheating. So if it's produced.
Which she has insinuated before in prior seasons.
So if it's produced, it's shitty. And even if it's not produced, it's still shitty because you're making money off your marriage and your marriage problems. Because in real life, this makes me think it's produced. In real life, why would John and Lisa just sit there? He would have said that. I would have saw her face. I would have been like, let's go inside and get something to eat. I would have been out of there. Yes. I would never have sat there while someone spoke like that in regards to their marriage because it was so, I don't know. And I'd rather be poor than that's how I make my money. That's just my opinion.
I totally agree with you. I don't think she's the first housewife to make a fake marriage story for a storyline. I just think she's very bad at it. She's a very bad actress. You see right through her. I think they 100% have an open marriage. I don't even give a shit if they have an open marriage. but I think she's a terrible actress, and you see right through it.
No.
She brings nothing to the table, Meredith, and she never has. She never has. She doesn't talk about her own life, except this nonsense that you could see right through. Even her kids, like she never talks about her daughter. Once in a while, she talks about Brooks. The first season, I think Brooks had more of a presence, but now, he's off doing his own thing.
I agree with you that she doesn't bring anything to the table. Like I said, I've never been a fan of Meredith Marks, but I don't know if I agree with you that the marriage is fake. I don't. I mean,
think it's fake. Think that her acting like she's upset that he has to leave. Like, it is what it is. Like, he's in Ohio doing his thing. You're right now in Salt Lake doing your thing because you're filming, but otherwise you're not in Salt Lake. You don't live in Salt Lake. We all know that now.
Yeah.
Like, if this is what your marriage is, that your husband goes to Ohio and stays for however long, and, you guys are hooking up with other people, show it. Show it.
Do you think that because it was a couple's trip, she felt like she had to bring him?
Yeah.
Or she wouldn't have been invited? So then who would Heather have brought? Because Heather didn't have a couple. Is that yet another reason why Heather wasn't invited?
Maybe.
Because she wouldn't have been a couple?
Well, I think, too, that Bronwyn was just trying to smooth things over and be like, look, you and I haven't really gotten along. We haven't gotten off on the right foot. I've said some dicky things. You've said some dicky things. I'm having this trip. Kind of basically, it's a couple's trip, and she probably wouldn't have been invited anyway because it was a couple's trip. But I think Bronwyn's point was, like, I don't want that to now add on to whatever bad vibe we've got going on.
Whatever this is that we have.
Right.
Right. But think about it, because, Mary, she said Mary couldn't make it, but
so
we know that Mary's husband won't film.
Right.
Yeah, but
I guess she
again,
did invite her.
We know that Mary's...
Right, so she wouldn't have come as a couple anyway.
Right.
I gotcha.
Right, she wouldn't have come as a couple anyway because we know that her husband won't film.
Right.
I don't know. That's actually more of what I question, because I'm thinking, like, if you and your husband have this arrangement where he is working in Ohio and you're here, then you're here and he's there. Like, just let him do the work. I mean, even when we're going to get to the point with Todd, every scene I've seen with Todd, I just think he's very awkward on camera. I think he's awkward. I think he feels out of place. I think he doesn't really fit in. I personally would rather not see him. I'd rather just hear about him. I just think he doesn't work in this show, in my opinion. And I get it that he's her husband, but I'd rather just not see him, and I'd rather just hear about him, just like Mary's husband. Like,
they
it's
should
okay.
Well, I'd like to say they should really just keep the husbands off, but that is them showing their real lives when their husbands are on. Like, I like when the OC husbands are on. I mean, I love when the Jersey husbands are on, but OC, I like when the husbands are on.
I know, but you know what? We don't really see that. I guess Potomac, we don't see the husbands that much, because who even has a husband at this point, right? I mean, Karen.
Jassie's got, she's building her house. Is she the one that's building?
Yeah, but they're not husbands. Like, I mean,
right.
Mia had a husband, but they're divorced, or
right.
Yeah. So I don't know. I just think sometimes the husbands don't work, and maybe we don't force it.
Right.
Maybe we don't do these couples things.
Right.
I think that this trip to Palm Springs would have been better if there was no husbands there. Personally, myself.
Yes.
I think that, it would have been more real, and we could have maybe seen better interactions. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
Because then Seth says all the men are there together. And he says, to all the men, one thing, I say, you judge a straight man by their wife, and we crushed it, gentlemen. We outkicked our coverage.
Outkicked our coverage, yeah.
Right. And then Todd says, now I'm going to make a different point. I think they outkicked their coverage, meaning that he was, I'm like, what?
Yeah, that was a bold statement, Todd.
Yeah, that really was a bold statement, especially coming from him.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a reach, Todd.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you got the bankroll, but she's a baddie, Bronwyn.
Yeah. And then they're all sitting there talking about what happened with Heather, and they feel bad about it. And Lisa feels the need at this point to FaceTime Heather, when I didn't realize that Bronwyn went to the bathroom. I didn't know why she wasn't there at the time, to be honest with you.
I can't believe Lisa did that. And I can't believe she doesn't think there's anything wrong with that.
No, wait, I got to ask a question.
I mean,
didn't Meredith say her?
I don't remember.
I think she
I
did.
don't actually remember.
I think she did. And then Lisa called her. So, but you know what? You can't
That's
tell me,
interesting.
you can't
Either
tell
way, right?
but you can't tell me in a million years that wasn't produced. Come on.
No, I think you're right. But I don't think Bronwyn was in on it. Do you?
No, I don't
Definitely
think
not.
No, I think they
Right. I think when
sideswiped
she
her on
walked
that
away,
one.
they were like, you should call Heather. And they were like,
Yes.
okay.
Okay. And you know what? Not for nothing, I'm going to tell you one of the worst things about that was that look on Lisa's face after she hung up from that phone call. I would have punched that bitch right in her face. The smirk on her face. You're sitting in
Really?
my $20,000, especially if her husband paid for it, my $20,000 night rental, and you're going to do that, and then you're going to hang up the phone and look at me with that face? Oh, no,
Right.
no.
Yeah, like there's no accountability. Nothing. Nada. She saw nothing wrong with that.
No,
Could
she
you
didn't.
imagine if somebody did that to her? Could you imagine if she planned a trip, didn't invite Whitney, and while they were all there, Heather FaceTimed Whitney?
No.
I mean, Lisa would have lost her damn mind.
Yeah, it was a dick move.
Yeah, I agree.
Total dick move.
So after that happens, Bronwyn tells Lisa that she's not even listening to her. She's just taking Heather's side. Bronwyn's been friends with Lisa for quite a while, and she was recently on a hike with the other girls, and they were talking badly about Lisa. And she stuck up for her, which she did.
100%.
Which she did. She did not join in on that conversation,
No.
and she certainly could have.
Yep.
And listen, I like that she's calling her out. I do. Lisa says, I'm gonna move over here and I'm gonna talk to you directly, because they're yelling back and forth across the hot tub at that point, right? And I don't need anyone talking for me, because that's when Meredith started jumping in, like, you can't have this conversation. And then the men are in the pool, and then they hear it getting louder, and
They're
then
scooting over.
yeah, Bronwyn tells Lisa it's a double standard. I'm supposed to check in on you when somebody has a fight with you, but you're not going to check in on me when Heather's shit talking me. Heather's two-faced.
There's a theme there with Lisa.
Yep, there sure is. And she was trying to make things better with Heather. She invited her over to her house.
Mm-hmm.
And then she said, I have to protect you like it's my job, and you're not there protecting me. And she said, well, you can say it, what she said, because I didn't write that down.
I got to ride your dick like it's my job.
That's right.
She said,
that's what she said.
Yeah, she said, when it's me and somebody else, it's my responsibility to work it out. But when it's you and somebody else, my ass better ride your dick like it's my job, Lisa.
That was a good one.
Yep.
But
it was a good one.
I did kind of feel, though, that was not a produced moment, and that the producer said just like you said, Wendy, when she was in the bathroom, they said, yeah, call FaceTime Heather. So
yeah.
Lisa cannot apologize. Her and Tamara.
Right. Yep.
I mean, there's plenty of other housewives too, but
So
then Lisa says, go ahead.
I watched the after show. So on the after show, Bronwyn said that she felt like Lisa doing that wasn't like Lisa trying to be supportive of Heather at all, but just totally to antagonize her. She said, Bronwyn felt like she did everything right. She said, I called her to make sure everything was good. And then she said, after she spoke to Lisa on the phone, Lisa ghosted her for a little bit and wouldn't answer calls or texts. So she wasn't even sure, positive that she was even going. And then, when they get on the plane, she felt like she was bombarded with proclamations that, Bronwyn is misunderstanding Heather, and that, Lisa, like we said, Lisa didn't even ask about what Bronwyn's side was, and Meredith was
right.
And Meredith said, well, Meredith actually did call Heather out on the after show and said, well, that's nice that you wanted to check on your friend, but you didn't need to throw it in her face, in Bronwyn's face. So I was like, oh, look at you, Meredith, a little bit of scruples.
Yeah.
And then Lisa said on the after show, maybe in hindsight, she should have called, privately. Well, actually, you could have texted her and no one would even known.
Right. Or you could have just left her be, and when you got home, called and been like, listen, I'm really sorry that you weren't on the trip.
Right.
We missed you.
Right.
I missed you.
Yeah, that's all. I mean, Heather's a grown woman.
Why do you have to check in with her while you're there? That's disrespectful to Bronwyn.
Yeah.
100%. It's 100%.
If you're trying to stay out of it, stay out of it.
Right. Exactly.
Yep.
So then Bronwyn gets up and she walks away, and Lisa says, "This is amazing. I didn't do anything wrong and I don't feel bad, and she'll hear from Heather and everything will be okay." Then Whitney gets up and goes inside to see how Bronwyn's doing. She's like, "I just want to make sure you're okay." And I'm glad that she did that because you know what? Someone had to go after her.
Yeah.
Bronwyn said she doesn't want to say, that she was wrong, meaning Lisa, and Heather was wrong when she didn't give you the apology. Like, Whitney's got her back.
Yep. Which I don't like Whitney, but I'm glad somebody's got Bronwyn's back.
It's interesting, though, because when Whitney was on Watch What Happens Live, she said that while she was filming, she thought that she was on, like, she had, like, both sides, but now that filming's over, that she thinks that Heather was right. Did you hear that on Watch What Happens Live?
She's on Heather's side.
Whitney?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, on Watch What Happens Live. So another thing.
Interesting.
I thought that was interesting, too. Another thing that was said on Watch What Happens Live is stuff about Adam.
Yes, I saw that. And I watched Adam come back to that.
His rebuttal. Yep. So she said that she was good friends with Adam's husband, that he's from Salt Lake City. And that's not true. He's not from Salt Lake City. He's not good friends with his husband. He said that she's totally lying.
I saw
Whitney has blocked him. They're at total opposites of what's happening here. And honestly, I mean, I think it's messy. I don't think that he should have even been involved in this whole situation.
No. None of these housewives should be talking to any of these bloggers, podcasters, anybody. They shouldn't be talking to them.
Not in the midst of filming and not about stuff like this. No. So I think that this needs to be addressed at the reunion.
Yeah.
Now,
somebody said they should have Adam on the reunion.
There you go. Another thing is that he kind of made reference to Heather Gay is going to be branching out on Bravo. And sometimes he does his podcast with this other girl. And she said maybe like, a show with Beauty Lab and Heather. Like that would be more of the focus.
Okay.
So I don't know.
Like she's going to get a spinoff?
Kinda. Yeah, that's what they were making it sound like. How she's kind of a little bit.
That would shock me.
Yeah. I don't know. I just thought that was interesting.
I thought he meant when he said she's branching out, she was going to be on the dating show with Luann and Shannon. Because isn't it Ashley, Shannon, Luann, and Heather, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Is it Heather?
I thought it was Heather Gay.
Okay. I don't know.
I don't know.
We'll have to look it up. But that would shock me if Heather got... Bravo, stop doing the spinoffs.
Well, Lisa got the spinoff with the selling Salt Lake.
Yeah, but
she's on that.
Salt Lake. Yeah.
Is she involved in it?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, she's on she's going to be in a couple episodes.
Oh, yeah.
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 By the way, did you see that Josh and Heather Altman are leaving $1 Million Listing LA?
I did.
I hope, you know what? And I really like them, but I really hope they're not doing that to get their own show, because that would upset me. Because I think he and Josh Flagg and Tracy Tudor have a great chemistry, and it would upset me if he left to get his own show.
I don't think he would. I'll be honest with you. I think the reason that they're doing it is because they are overwhelmed.
Yeah,
That's
what I thought.
Heather's doing so much. They have so many offices. They're making their money on real estate. They're not making their money on TV.
Right.
And he's got small children. I think he's just prioritizing his family over this.
Yeah.
I think.
And I'm happy for them to do that.
Yeah.
So
I could be wrong, but that's what I think.
Also on Watch What Happens Live, I thought it was interesting. They had Whitney get up. She was on with some other girl, Joy. I don't know who she was. So it was Whitney and then this girl, Joy. So they have Whitney get up and go by the green screen and put on some wacky glasses because they're playing a game or whatever. Yes, whatever the celebrity is, whatever it is. So anyway, she comes back. And while she's gone, this woman, Joy, who is also on Watch What Happens Live, sits in Whitney's seat, because her seat is close to, what's his name?
Closer to Andy.
Closer to Andy. So Whitney kind of just like stands there, like, are you going to get up?
Sit in the second seat?
No. She makes that other girl get up. I was like, okay.
I did not do that, and I'm glad I didn't.
Yeah. She just kind of like stood there over her like, and you're sitting in my seat. Whereas the show was almost over. Just sit in the other seat. Gives a shit.
No, it's such a big deal to be next to Andy. And I will never forgive him for putting Rachel Fuda in the second seat because he didn't do it to any other housewife. And he did it to her for some SNL actress.
This was an SNL actress that was on with Whitney too, by the way. I can't.
See?
Well, that's who she was. Yeah, I couldn't think of her name. Joy something.
Yeah, she's from SNL. I didn't think her name was Joy, but maybe it was.
Maybe I made it. I could have made it up.
Because Matt happened to walk in. Matt walked in and he knew her. He's like, oh, that's so-and-so. I was like, how do you know her? She had on the big balls.
Yeah.
The jacket with the big colorful balls.
No.
Oh, that wasn't her?
Oh. Maybe that was another night with another housewife.
Yeah, maybe. Listen, I get them all confused. If I don't write it down,
keep track.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know. So then after that happens, Todd comes in and says, what's going on? Whitney says, I'm going to step out. And Todd said, I told you I wasn't going to deal with this bullshit. I told you either I can leave or they can leave. Todd says, I'll just get them a car and they can leave. Bronwyn says, maybe I could tell them because I'm a little bit nicer than you. He says, this is bullshit and I'm not sitting through this all weekend. So then Todd goes out to John and says, hey, dude, this is out of control. All the bullshit between Lisa and Bronwyn, it's got to stop. You guys got to go. Or you guys got to go. John says, okay, I'll go talk to Lisa. Listen, I thought it was direct. I kind of was here for it, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah, I don't think there was anything wrong with what he said. Or how he said it.
No.
I don't either.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people had a problem with it, though, but I didn't.
No,
I didn't
either.
Yeah. So I have a question for you. What do we think's going to happen next week? Do you think they're going to leave? Do you think they're going to stay? I think Lisa Barlow likes her camera too much. I think she'll just be like,
I don't think they're leaving.
I don't think they're leaving.
Yeah, no.
They're not leaving on their own. They're going to say that they're going to toe the line. And Yep.
I don't think they're leaving either. Then Bronwyn and Todd go out to lunch and he said, I've had enough of this. I've had a whole weekend worth in 3 hours. It was only 3 hours at that point. That's crazy.
Wow.
That's putting it in perspective for us, right?
Yeah.
John goes to talk to Lisa and says, what's going on with this? And Bronwyn said, you're not having my side with Heather, and Heather's my friend too. And she expressed her feelings to me. Lisa said, what did Todd say to you? He said, Bronwyn is upset and if we can't figure this out, then he wants us to go. And the look on Lisa's face was like, what? He wants us to go? Like, what did we do?
Lord.
But that's really kind of where it ends.
Now,
I do have some other information. I don't know if you guys saw this about the Beauty Lab lawsuit against Monica Garcia.
Yeah, I thought that it got settled, right?
Last year, they said.
Yeah, so Beauty Lab filed a proposed judgment on October 27th, which was approved by a judge and finalized on November 4th, ordering Garcia to pay up a total of $35,853.60.
How did it get that high?
In addition to the original lawsuit, principal asking amount of $2,000 for her service, with a pre-judgment interest rate of 18% per year between 2020 to 2024, which comes out to $1,683.62. Garcia was also ordered to pay $604.98 in court costs and fees. She also must pay Beauty Lab's attorney fees, which came out to a total of $31,550.
The attorney fees.
Which is what I want Shannon to sue John Jansen for, her attorney fees.
Hell yeah.
The thing I don't understand about this lawsuit is the original amount was $2,000. That could have went to small claims court.
Yeah.
Why
she
did
wasn't paying it?
But again,
they probably started out at small claims court.
But if you get the judgment in small claims court, that's the same judgment, right?
She probably defaulted.
And then what? Then after you default on a judgment in small claims court, is that how it works? I don't know.
I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Every state's different, but she probably was ordered to pay it and probably just didn't.
So this information actually came out. It happened on November 4th, but it came out on Election Day. And Monica Garcia said, with everything that's going on in this country, like, I'm not even going to acknowledge this. Like, why is this even news?
What?
Just I laughed at that.
Yeah. Because you multiplied your debt by 10 by ignoring it and not doing the right thing. You should have paid for your services.
You done screwed up.
You done screwed up. So now on that after show, they were talking about the situation with Todd. And Lisa said in regards to Todd, no fighting. That's like asking Jesus to come down and take me now. That's like saying, Lisa, don't ever have a Diet Coke again. It's like, oh. She actually said that.
Yeah, that's
Lisa said
stupid.
That.
Why do you want to be on the show to fight?
Yeah, well, I guess so. You know what else she also said? She is building a new house.
Maybe we'll see this one.
It's in Alpine, and the house has a spray tan room in the guest house for her spray tans. And she has a 2,000 square foot closet. Do you know how big that is? 2,000 square feet. That's like my
house. My house is 2,500 square feet.
Right.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Right. Yeah.
And she said
that's ridiculous.
They're going to have a pool because it's been very hard for her not having a pool. She grew up having a pool.
Oh, poor
baby. It's been very hard for her not having a pool. So
the trauma.
My goodness gracious. Yeah. How do you put one foot out of the bed in the morning, Lisa?
No. And on the after show, Brittany said she felt left behind because no one called her from the trip.
No, Brittany.
Yeah.
No, Brittany.
And
don't do it.
Once they told Mary about what Todd said, Mary said, I love Todd now.
For Mary, I figured Mary didn't go because, who's leaving, Robert Jr. home alone?
Yeah.
Well, that's what she said.
Yeah.
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 I think it was a combination. I really do. I mean, we know Robert Sr.'s not filming.
Right. Right.
And, she doesn't need to go watch these cackling women cackle. I mean, they're fighting over
she's got real problems at home with her son.
Right.
Right.
Not and made up problems.
And these bitches are fighting over made up problems.
Yeah.
Right.
No. Foolishness.
Yeah. I shouldn't say problem. She has real issues.
Right. Whoever thought we'd be Team Mary?
Not me. Especially after last season.
All right.
She was, just did not want to be there.
I know.
But no, we're totally Team Mary this season.
So I just have two things. I just have two things.
Oh, okay.
Two things. Sorry. I have two things. And
do you know what time it is?
My phone just died. Very late. I saw a thing where Teresa Giudice, when she was talking about her getting her lips fixed, she was like, I know everybody talks about my lips, but I really like them. And my husband really likes them, and he likes to suck on them. She actually said that in an interview. I'm like,
okay,
my God, okay. So disgusting.
You're like, nobody wants that visual, Teresa.
No,
nobody
I don't want it.
Fucking wants that visual.
No,
your lips are gross, and Louis is fucking disgusting. But nobody wants that visual.
I had to scrub my brain with a brush to get that out, and then they supposedly are filming for Jersey Shore Family Vacation, and they were doing it in the city, and TMZ.
No, that was the premiere I just told you about.
Yeah, but they're filming it for Jersey Shore. She's right.
Yeah.
But there were things.
The Devon premiere.
No, this was something else. This was something else. Some Jersey Shore vacation thing that they're filming now. They were filming it in the city at some Tao was the name of the restaurant. And the thing was that Snooki, they were there with Snooki and somebody else. There's supposed to be some kind of crossover with Real Housewives of New Jersey and Jersey Shore.
Melissa and Joe were somewhere where Snooki was.
But no, that's what I'm saying to you. TMZ reported it wrong. That was the premiere that JWoww went to for her show, and they went to Tao before or after the premiere.
Well,
Melissa and Joe just happened to be there?
No, the Jersey Housewives. So it was Melissa was there, Joe was there, Danielle Cabral was there. They were all at the premiere for Devon, JWoww's show that was premiering in the city on Friday night. That's what I was trying to tell cousin Gina when she sent us that TMZ report.
Yeah.
Was that they are filming for Jersey Shore right now, and they are filming the premiere of JWoww because the whole Jersey Shore family went out to support her for the premiere of her movie. And because it's in New York and the Jersey, so some of the Jersey housewives, Melissa was there, Joe was there, Danielle Cabral was there, Nate was there.
Okay.
There was a couple. That's what that was all about. It is not a crossover.
Okay.
Because that's yes.
Well, I think they were calling it a crossover. Like, I don't think they meant like that one of them was going to be on the other one's show now.
Well, that's
but I don't want them saying that they're filming for Jersey because they're not filming Jersey yet.
Right.
You can't don't say that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's confusing to people. That's what they were filming.
Right.
Well, some of the articles
they were filming
definitely gave it that spin that they were doing.
Of course.
A spin-off, like a crossover filming episode. That's what the articles were trying to make it sound like. So that's why I brought it up.
Of course.
Now, I'll be honest with you. If I didn't see JWoww yesterday and she didn't explain where she was the night before, and then I saw on the Instagram of Danielle and Melissa and Joe that they were all there together, I wouldn't have known that. The only reason I do know it is because she said it. And she said that it's going to play out on the next season of Jersey Shore. They're airing now and they're filming now. And she also said that she got the call that we're going to see on Jersey Shore from her manager, that after she had done the movie, that they got someone to buy it, which we now know because I said it's going to be on, I think, Apple TV or whatever it's called, and I think Amazon. But, that's also going to play out on Jersey Shore.
That's amazing.
Okay.
Isn't it interesting that JWoww can get a movie bought by Amazon or Apple and J-Lo can't?
Well, there you go.
Remember we watched her documentary?
Yes, we did.
Do you think in hindsight now, knowing what we know, do you think it had anything to do with the Diddy outfall? Like fallout?
I do.
Right?
Most definitely. Oh, most definitely.
Because we watched that documentary and I didn't understand the movie.
Yeah, no, I think it definitely has something to do with that. And even JWoww said, she was it's hard for somebody in the business to get this done, let alone her. She's a reality star, which really is the lowest of low, in entertainment.
Yeah.
They don't respect reality stars.
Right.
So the fact that she did this, and like I said, that's why I'm going to watch it, because I'm going to support her. And she's a fighter. She's a doer. She honestly, I admire that. I admire people who get an idea and then just do it and follow through on it. Don't talk about it. Don't mull it over. Just do it. You get an idea. You think it's a good idea. You believe in it. You believe in yourself. Just go do it. That's what I tell people to do. Go do it. Go make it happen.
Hey, listen, you're sitting on your porch having wine and you walk around your neighborhood and you say, you know what? I think we should have a podcast. And then you do it.
That's it.
Right?
You do it.
You do it.
That's it. You just do it.
You just do it. All right. So try and get the visual out of your mind of Teresa Giudice and her lips and her husband.
You got to repeat it?
Yeah.
You had to repeat it.
Yes, I did.
All right.
Let's do it.
What is it? Corkscrew?
Corkscrew.
Corkscrew. Okay. All right.
Until next time, thank you for watching and listening to We Why Whenever. Bye.
Bye.